Another packed day of campaign events across Rhode Island awaits Allan Fung. But he is starting with the hometown crowd on this Saturday morning in September.
Don't forget where you came from.
I never forget where I come from.
The residents in Cranston have gotten a first-hand look at their mayor-turned-candidate for governor, the successes and the rough patches. Many in this crowd wish him luck, but also say they wish he'd stay as mayor.
We've done a lot of great things to turn Cranston around during the 3 terms I've been mayor in Cranston, creating a better business environment, adding over 1,000 new jobs into the city during my first 2 terms, stabilizing the city's finances.
Fung says he first ran for a city council seat a decade ago because Cranston's finances were in a shambles, and the city's bond rating had been reduced to junk bond status. Now he sees big challenges facing the state.
And when I see that our state's economy is still lagging, particularly with high unemployment, one of the highest in this country, high taxes, and people moving out and fleeing, it motivated me to run for governor because I want to turn this state around.
Welcome to the beautiful city of Cranston. Welcome to Garden City and all that it has to offer.
Wherever he goes, Fung uses Cranston as the centerpiece of his pitch, in part because places like Chapel View and Garden City are well known to most Rhode Islanders, and both are huge success stories.
I took a deep reflection about what I've done in Cranston, all the good things we've been able to do to turn the city around, turn a distressed community around into what we're doing here. The development that we're sitting in with Chapel View, which was the home of state property, the training school for the boys at one point in time, across the way at Garden City, where it was blighted, a little getting tired, when I first got into office, and look at it now, it's really popping with new national one-of-a-kind retailers and developments going in there. And seeing all of that happening is what motivated me to really run.
What may be less visible is the economic development plan that has quietly evolved over his 6 years as mayor. Fung recently toured Cadence, a medical instrument manufacturer that is undergoing a $4 million expansion at its plant just off Route 295.
Why did they want to come to Cranston?
Yeah, part of it was, the relationships that we've been able to build, and the expansion, more importantly, has been that stability that we've offered in government to them. We've been able to cut through the red tape, work with them through their expansions, because we want those jobs here. There's 2 things government can do. They can either get in the way of business. I've, in Cranston, made sure that we're partnering with them and gotten out of their way. And we're going to be taking those same type of initiatives at the state level to get out of the way of business, let them operate, let them get open, or if it's an expansion, let them grow.
Although Rhode Island voters have put a Republican in the governor's seat for the vast majority of the past 3 decades, some wonder how a Republican in 2015 would get anything done with an overwhelmingly Democratic General Assembly.
If you do get up there, how do you keep from getting steamrolled by a Democratic General Assembly?
Well, this is where the experience counts. I've had that experience during my 3 terms as mayor of Cranston, having the opportunity to work with an overwhelmingly Democratic legislative body here, and we've been able to get a lot of good things done.
He says they include negotiating a 401k retirement plan for new employees from 2 major unions, pension reform that saved the city $6 million this year, and 3 of his 6 years in office with no tax increase. Fung says as governor, he would like to reduce the state's sales tax to at least match Massachusetts. Fung gave up the city-issued car when he became mayor, so you'll see him arrive at both city and campaign events in his own 2005 Acura, with just under 150,000 miles on it.
But in true Rhode Island fashion, you did take the license plate.
I did take the license plate,
right?
you
gotta
come
have
on. Yep, absolutely.
30,000, is that what it is?
30,000.
Well, you got to have at least some perk, right?
Absolutely.
But that was non-monetary, right?
That was non-monetary, and it'll go back to the residents of Cranston when I'm done.
It hasn't been all rosy in Cranston. Fung has been plagued by problems in his police department and criticism about some of his donors.
You have taken money from the police and you have taken money from other city workers. How do you justify that with a good, clean government slate going in? Talk about that.
I've been proud to have I think we're up to over 2,000 unique individual donors, most of whom have come from Rhode Island. not Wall Street interest. And I've been proud to have those support of many of the individuals, many of them who are homegrown, that believe in who I am and what I want to do for the state. So the bottom line is this: when you're talking about that, that was a small percentage of the individuals that have come from city government that have contributed to my campaign.
The marathon campaign has now turned into a sprint. The gap between Fung and his Democratic opponent Gina Raimondo closing some since primary day.
The day after the primary, a lot of people said, well, he had a nice little victory. Now he's got to go up against the Raimondo juggernaut with all the money, and she's ahead in the polls. And now we see that's narrowed a little bit.
We have planned appropriately, and we're hitting our plans on tact, and we're doing everything that we can to get our message out to the voters of Rhode Island. And we're right in this game, and I'm very excited for the opportunity to meet people from Woonsocket to Westerly.
Earlier this month, Fung got a visit from New Jersey's Chris Christie, the rock star of Republican governors and potential presidential candidate in 2016. Christie arrived to a huge crowd at a restaurant in Johnston, a longtime Democratic stronghold, making his way through the crowds to shake hands with nearly everyone.
Thank you for supporting Allan.
Christie, who heads the Republican Governors Association, said he came here because Rhode Island is now on their radar screen of potential winnable races.
Don't put words in my mouth.
Why do you believe
Next
that?
question.
He is exactly what you see on television. He is honest, blunt.
He barked
calls
at
it
a
like
few
it
reporters,
is.
didn't he?
Called it like it is. Everything that you see on television is exactly who he is.
Do you ever dream of doing that?
Yeah.
Next question. Is that ever going to come out of Allan Fung at the
Next
state house?
question.
Fung is always quick with a smile wherever he goes, but wants voters to know there is a toughness that goes with it.
Have you heard that before? Nice guy, but he's not going to be able to do it on the big stage.
Chris Christie said the same thing during that interview. They didn't think he was going to be tough enough, but take a look at it. And the bottom line is, I've got a record of 3 terms as mayor of Cranston, doing a lot of good things. Cranston voters put their trust in me. They've put their trust in me in that primary, and it showed. And I know they're going to, put their trust in me when I come to the polls in November 4th.
On the campaign trail, Jim Hummel for the Hummel Report.